Welcome to the annual Leaders in Local Government Awards. I'm your MC, Brian Bax. I'm a political reporter for Minnesota Public Radio. I understand the past couple of years you've had Mary LaHammer and Tom Hauser here, and so while I don't have their recognizable or dashing looks, I do have maybe a recognizable voice, so I hope you can put up with that for a little while. And to get the program started, I'm happy to introduce B. Kyle, President and CEO of the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. I was running a little late. I'm preparing something for the City Council to talk about minimum wage tonight. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming. I am so delighted to see all of these faces here. This is our inaugural, completely East Metro-wide, Ramsey County, Washington County, Dakota County, Leaders in Local Government event. It's extraordinary. This is our first time among all of the chamber leaders in these three counties to come together in an organized fashion of this magnitude, and you will be seeing more of that. We want to continue driving our work together, so thanks, partners. Before we even begin, can all of my partners of the other 16 chambers in the East Metro stand up? So today, why are we here? We're here today to honor 4 leading organizations and 1 individual in the East Metro who exemplify and demonstrate innovation, excellence, and success in local government. We've done this event, something like this in the past, and we've thought this year, let's make it a real competition and bring in all 3 counties. So this year, the judging process was very exciting. Let's take a look at our sponsors, because I do want to pause on this for a moment. We're having a great year this year as a chamber. Just wrapped up my first year as president. We're having a banner year in 2018. And it's really worth noting and pausing on that the reason we're having a banner year is that you, our members, the companies, our cities, our counties, are investing in this work. So if I may, for a moment, pause and thank our sponsors. First of all, our award sponsor, Bremer Bank. On them alone, thank you. Our contributing sponsors, if you'd wait until I read off the contributing sponsors, hold your applause. Clearway, Minnesota, Comcast, Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures, Platinum Bank, Securian Financial, U.S. Bank, University of St. Thomas, and Xcel Energy. Round of applause for them, please. Our printing sponsor is 7 Corners Print and Promo. Our photography sponsor is SPACC, and they're always spot on. You see them everywhere with their cameras at all of our events. We're grateful for them. You have a team working at this chamber and all of your chambers who continue to remind us and me specifically that the reason we're here and the reason we do what we do is for you. So thank you, sponsors, and thank you for being here this morning. I do want to pause specifically for a moment, but I want to talk about our award sponsor, Bremer Bank. Sorry, you get a shout out. I can't help myself. I'm excited about the fact that they're participating today in such a powerful way. When your company sponsors an event like this, you get a certain allocation of tickets for the event. Bremer's allocation for this event was 2 tables. Now, instead of filling those 2 tables with Bremer friends and employees, they filled 1 table, thank you, and they donated the other to the Citizens League so that former Capital Pathways interns could attend as well. Now, Capital Pathways is a program that pairs interns of color with organizations who work at the Capitol during the legislative session to give these students access and exposure to policymakers and real-world experience in governmental career fields, with the long-term goal of making our government truly representative of our communities. So we would like to welcome Capital Pathways alumni who are in the room. Give a special shout out to the table of interns. Where are you? Yeah, quiet wave. Yeah, thank you. So now I'd like to welcome to the podium our President and CEO of Bremer Bank, Gene Cramer, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor to be with all of you here today. And really, we regard it as a privilege to sponsor this event that's honoring these and celebrates really the accomplishments and the achievements of 4 organizations and an East Metro elected official. We're a St. Paul-based company, as many of you know, and we really appreciate and value the work of the St. Paul Chamber of Commerce and the East Metro Chamber partners. We focus on building relationships through the work that we do every single day, and we believe in the power of collaboration between business and government to advance overall the public good. The qualities that we are celebrating today, recognizing today, innovation, excellence, and success, these are the same characteristics that positively influence and shape our industry every day. And there's unprecedented change going on in our industry, especially for our business and agricultural customers. We'll soon be celebrating our 75th year as a banking organization. And as we move forward, we know it's really important to put at the core of any of our decision-making the needs of our customers, because our customers represent our culture. They represent how we truly invest in the communities in which we do business. So providing expertise, understanding, and wherewithal, those are really the critical ingredients that we believe empower and really drive a community to thrive. We also cherish the fact that our founder, Otto Bremer, was really the first innovator in our business. And we really take seriously the commitment to continue his legacy in order to be creative and bring to market creative solutions that really help advance the success of anyone we're working with. So in that same way, the organizations and individuals that are here today have demonstrated the same tenacity to do the same for the best of the citizens in the communities and the towns and the cities in which you're involved. So on behalf of our 2,000 employees, many of which who live in all the communities that you represent, we're grateful for the dedication and the commitment to improve the lives through an efficient and progressive government. So again, we thank you for being a part of this incredible celebration, and thanks to the St. Paul Chamber of Commerce for hosting this annual event. Thank you very much.
And again, we thank all of our sponsors today for their contributions. But it's now my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker. It's Julie Kleinschmidt, and Julie served as Ramsey County Manager from December 2008 until her recent retirement, she can't get away, in July 2018. Before that appointment, Kleinschmidt served as Ramsey County Finance Director for 8 years. She has more than 20 years of experience in government management and finance, and this includes her time as Controller of Hennepin County, which of course is Minnesota's most populous. And Kleinschmidt is a CPA and the first woman who served as Ramsey County Manager. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Julie Kleinschmidt.
Well, good afternoon. House TV, really? I don't know about you, but I retired recently. I am not watching House TV. I am so honored to be here to celebrate you, our East Metro local government leaders. I want to applaud the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event, recognizing local government excellence and innovation. So today, just for today, let's put aside our militant Minnesota modesty and acknowledge the truly great work that the people in this room do every day, big and small, for our community. This subject is close to my heart. I worked at the county level of government for more than 30 years. That bio is just a little outdated. And prior to that, I worked in the private sector in a local CPA firm. And since retiring a little over a month ago, I've had some time to reflect on my career in both the private and the public sector, Ramsey and the county to the west that shall go unnamed. Although that was my favorite title of all time, who wouldn't want to be a controller right? I didn't control as much as I would have liked, however. Retired a little while ago. A couple people have said, so how's it going? I don't know yet. I'm still getting my feet on the ground. Or as my 4-year-old granddaughter excitedly told the neighbor, she announced in glee, my Nana is too tired, so now she can play with me. I am more tired since playing with her. To be a little bit serious, what I know for certain in my reflections is that the public sector is vital to economic growth, health, and safety. And that partnerships, collaborations with the private and the nonprofit sectors and the government sector matter. My dad had a poster all the while that I was growing up in his office, and it said, no one of us is as smart as all of us. I've been in government long enough to know that your effectiveness in government determines whether your city, your economic development authority, your port authority, your library, your police department, any agency, your leadership determines whether it meets its obligation to the public. And I know, in my reflection, people are thirsty for quality government. Yeah, I look at Twitter a little too much. They want to be reminded that theirs is a government by the people and for the people, a government that works for everyone. They want leaders like you who stand up and make our government stand out. I am really honored and somewhat humbled to be in this group of leaders. You're the people who see possibilities. You're the people that see what could be. I look around this room and I've read all the projects and the award winners, and I realize you guys don't see problems. You see puzzles to be solved. I bet everybody in this room can remember the moment you decided to go into public service. I wouldn't trade one day for the opportunities and for the rewards that come from that service. Well, maybe a couple of truth and taxation hearings. I might trade a couple of those. But we each have different stories about how we got into public service. And I'm sure there's a variety of motivations about why we're here now, but we've all made one common discovery. We're in an arena where real change can happen. It's an arena where real leadership matters. It's an arena where one good idea can touch the lives of all million-plus residents in the East Metro. Today, we're seeing your energy, your motivation, your desire to serve this community in action. And we should celebrate that. You are being the leaders that you've always wanted to see in your government. Being the leaders that your community expects you to be. You aren't waiting for others to create the next great government program or come up with the next great innovation. Whether you're an elected official determining the direction we go in, or a career civil servant actually getting us there, you set the tone for hundreds of employees who look to you for guidance and inspiration. I hope you will always remember the spirit of service that brought you here in the first place. So, my musings. What do I love about government work? A good idea can come from anywhere. I love the partnerships, the collaboration, the cooperation, and yes, the competition to be the best, but there are no trade secrets. That was one of the things that I really liked about moving from the private sector to the government sector, that we constantly are learning from each other, and that's why an awards ceremony like this is so important. So, as the county manager emeritus of Ramsey County, I put together some thoughts on what it takes. And I've seen this in the leadership that I've seen you project. Humility. You will have setbacks and you'll have failures. None of you got into this room by not having a failure. Vulnerability. You need to be open about your own journey or you won't be trusted. And you are trusted because of that. Commitment, diligence. One of my quotes that I like to use frequently is, patience does not mean you're not doing anything. It takes a long time to bring people along with your idea. Courage, or in the case of myself, naivete. What could possibly go wrong? Support and encouragement of others. And I encourage you to encourage each other. It's really the same leadership skills that you all use every day. Pushing people as far as they can go without pushing them right off the ledge. And constantly adjusting. We make mistakes, and it's really helpful to share in a group like this how really smart, committed people can fumble and recover. Not that I have any personal stories like that. You are the key to whether we do a good job for our community. No pressure there. But I really want all of us to remember how big our footprint really is, and together our footprint is huge. So I got to brag a little bit about Ramsey County, and I know because I've seen your communities also, what distinguishes us is transparency, a willingness to look at ourselves and what we can do better. And while we're celebrating our accomplishments today, it's also learning from those failures. Fiscal accountability. The people in this room never forget how hard people work to pay the taxes that pay our salaries. The long view. And in a political environment, that's not always easy, but I've seen you do it, and I know we've done it. We plan forward. This is what government is about. We didn't panic through various state and federal shutdowns, unallotments, and the historic economic downturn. We understood that our role is to provide stability and continuity and not to make politically expedient cuts. It's how we react in a crisis, whether it's an immediate crisis today or a looming crisis. Our regional leadership, Bea talked about the idea that how many chambers, did she say 17 chambers are here? I think she took off early, she didn't want to hear this. And also taking on the biggest challenges with the biggest payoff. In Ramsey County's case, taking the largest Superfund site in the state and cleaning it up for rehabilitation. So, one thing that I'm also proud of in our community is the respectful civil discourse of our elected leaders. And facing racial inequities head on, taking an honest look at the disparities in our community, engaging authentically with our community. A good idea can come from anywhere, and we know that by listening to our employees, listening to our residents, listening to our business community, we can improve. So as I think about the partnership between business and community, I do think about our Rice Creek Commons, AKA TCAP, and the push to make it an inclusive, welcoming, and economically thriving place for all. As a county in which 1 out of 6 residents are foreign-born, Ramsey County is working on a partnership with the community to inform residents of their rights, connecting them to services and opportunities through trusted community partners. This is one of those cases where the county cannot do it by themselves. We make progress working with our partners and being a welcoming place that recognizes the important role that immigrants play and have always played in building our community. You won't be surprised that I was first sold on the equity work, which I'm very excited to know that St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce is leading that conversation about ensuring that our economy is one that works for all. This is near and dear to my heart. Ramsey County is the most racially and ethnically diverse county in Minnesota. 35% of our residents are people of color. More than 130 languages or dialects are spoken in Ramsey County. We're the smallest county geographically in the state, yet we have the region's largest contiguous area of concentrated poverty, where 50% or more of residents are people of color. 24% of our families live in poverty. If we're going to prosper as a community, we cannot afford to leave a huge percentage of our residents behind. So I really want to applaud the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce. This is vital to our economy. We can create a welcoming and inclusive ecosystem. This one was, you won't be surprised to hear that I first got onto the equity work because of the business case. This is our workforce. This is our future workforce. And as a retired person, that's very important to me. Hennepin County, oh my gosh, I said it out loud. I do call that my graduate school work, though. We're also working on the public sector and career pathways work, working with nonprofits, community-based organizations, other public sector partners to train our community to create key pathways into government positions, such as 911 telecommunications, dispatcher, financial assistance worker, account clerk, building maintenance and assessing. Many of you are connected to the Greater Metropolitan Workforce Council, working with business, philanthropy, nonprofit, and other public sector partners to address something key to all of us, and that is that labor shortage in financial services, construction, healthcare, information technology, and I could go on. This is about meeting the needs of employers to succeed and grow. So let me wind up a little bit here with a thank you. Thank you for the work that you do every day. Leadership is critical no matter what seat you're in. It's exciting to see our, I'll call you our interns, our apprentices. You can lead from whatever seat you're in. Wherever you are, whatever your role, no matter where you are, your voice does matter. Thank you for what you bring to this community every day. Thank you for the time that you took to come here and reflect and celebrate your colleagues. Success is in the doing. It's not always in the outcome because it's a pathway. I'm going to quote Winston Churchill here because it's always good to quote Winston Churchill as a finale. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I urge you to continue. Thank you.
The local government awards are in the following categories: business retention and expansion, communications and marketing, planning, land use and public works, public safety, and elected official of note. And don't worry, if you didn't win, Tom Whaley has graciously invited you to be his guest at tonight's Saints playoff game. Right, Tom? He's got a really big box. So, but the Leaders in Local Government Awards honor leading individuals and organizations that exemplify and demonstrate innovation, excellence, and success in local government. The nominees have been selected based on their contribution to innovative initiatives or policies that advance the public good while demonstrating a commitment to efficient and progressive government. And after the program has concluded, we ask that the award recipients should also come to the stage to get their photo taken so we don't forget. And before we get started, let's all give the finalists a round of applause for the work they've done for their community. In the business retention and expansion category, the nominees are Lakeville Economic Development, City of Roseville Economic Development Authority, and the City of St. Paul. So, South St. Paul, oh God. South St. Paul, oh my gosh. South St. Paul, which what is east of West St. Paul? I can't keep up. So congratulations to each of the nominees, and this year's Business Award Retention and Expansion category goes to, God, I hope it's not South St. Paul. They're gonna be so mad at me. I drive through there on my way to work sometimes. So. The City of Roseville Economic Development Authority.
Well, wow, thank you very much, St. Paul Area Chamber, for the award. We appreciate it, and also certainly want to acknowledge all the other finalists. We all are doing a great job out there trying to foster new businesses and expand the businesses that we have in our communities. A couple years ago, the staff and city council got together and really wanted to kind of repurpose our economic development initiatives. And as a result, we've created an economic development authority and have adopted the policies and practices and put funds aside to help our businesses. Roseville is in a very fortunate place. As our Visitors Association says, we're perfectly positioned. We're adjacent to Minneapolis and St. Paul, those great employment centers. We have a great regional road network through our area that brings thousands of people through Roseville every day. And of course, we have Rosedale, which is a great regional retail hub. As a result, sometimes it appears it's easy to get businesses in Roseville. But we want to make sure, as part of our efforts, that we're very intentional. And part of that, being intentional, is focusing on our existing businesses. We do extensive outreach to our businesses, do business visits. We have a Roseville Business Council in conjunction with the St. Paul Area Chamber and Twin Cities North every month, and try and make connections to those businesses, because the true form of economic development that I believe is focusing on the businesses that you have. It's great to get businesses from outside your community, and that happens occasionally, but if you don't focus on the businesses in your community and help them grow, help them overcome the problems, you're not going to thrive. And that's really been our thrust the past couple of years. So we appreciate the recognition, and before I go, I do need to recognize the great team that works on it. I do very little in this effort. It's led by Carrie Collins, our Community Development Director, Jeannie Kelsey, and Joel Kepp, as well as Thomas Paskey. They're the ones that are on the ground every day making it work. So thank you for all your work as well.
All right. You know, I was jumping ahead to the communications marketing because that's what I deal with, a lot of people who are communicators who are trying to get my attention during the day, and so I'm curious to see who won this one. And the nominees for this award are the City of Hastings Communication Coordinator, the City of St. Paul, the City of Woodbury Community Development Department. So again, congratulations to all the nominees. And with your drum roll, we can open this up and see who's taking home the brass. The City of Hastings.
Thank you so much. This is a very big honor. I appreciate the nomination and being acknowledged with these other great communities. Thank you to the St. Paul Chamber and the other chambers that are involved in planning this great event. My story, prior to getting into community government, I actually worked for small businesses for quite a long time. I did advertising and marketing for small business, and that was a great opportunity for me at the time. I was raising small children and working part-time, and it allowed me to keep my skills fresh. But that opportunity really informed who I am today and how I do my job today. I learned a lot that people in small business have to wear a lot of hats, and they have to be ready for anything, and they have to be willing to pitch in and work together with each other. So I think that that's how I do my job today. I am part of an amazing team. We have goals that we're trying to achieve together. We're willing to work together through challenges to achieve a common goal. So I am just really excited to see where Hastings is going, and I'm excited to be a part of the team that's working on it together. So I really have to thank this team of people that's sitting here with me today at table 14. They have vision, leadership, they're innovative, and they give me trust to do my job, and I couldn't ask for more than that. It's a great team to be a part of. And if Hastings isn't on your radar, we are going to be soon. Thank you.
All right, moving right along. In the Planning, Land Use, and Public Works category, the nominees are Metropolitan Council and Xcel Energy's Green Energy Partnership, City of St. Paul's Planning and Economic Development, and the St. Paul Port Authority. Wow, a lot of St. Paul in line here today. Congratulations, of course, to each of the nominees, and the award in this category goes to the St. Paul Port Authority.
The shout out for B on this one was great because B was pretty much the right-hand man on this project, and forgive me for that. But anyway, she worked so hard on it, Port Authority. It's been a 4.5-year project for us. And I'm going to borrow some things that Julie said earlier about equity and being innovative. The movie that I'm going to use for this project was the movie Dumb and Dumber. Usually my go-to movie quotes are that or Billy Madison, but this time I'll stick with Dumb and Dumber. But this was one of those projects when it really was a challenge, and everyone said, you know, this will never work. You don't have a chance. So, of course, I take that as a challenge, and so you're saying we had a chance. And that was kind of our marching order. So we're excited for it, and we're excited for this award. And for any of those of you who have not been there yet, please feel free to stop by. As Julie said, for equity, I think probably in 3 weeks, we're seeing some really cool things happen at the project. We were just named the home ice for the Minnesota Whitecaps for the National Women's Hockey League team, the new franchise in Minnesota. We are also using this facility for other equity outreach, which we're really excited for. We are having a home for the Dynamites, which for those of you who don't know it, it's an urban outreach using hockey as a hook to pull kids in for tutoring. We are actually going to have a full tutoring center in one of the floors to reach out for kids. And the people who went through the Minneapolis Dynamites program have seen high school graduation rates go from 60% to 91%, and we're hoping to duplicate that in the East Metro. We had an outreach for Learn to Skate, St. Paul first graders. We had 70 first graders come to learn how to skate. 60 of them were kids of color. And some of them had never seen ice before. One kid just moved up from Puerto Rico. He'd never seen a sheet of ice, and that was quite fun. But that's kind of the project we created. That's what we want to do, really to have a community facility in the heart of downtown. And on behalf of the Port Authority, part of our great staff, we just thank you once again.
Congratulations to the St. Paul Port Authority. I'm sure they will have bragging rights at the next softball match with the other St. Paul nominee there. In the public safety category, the nominees are the Farmington Police Department, the Lakeville Police Department, and the St. Paul Public Library. Congratulations to each of the nominees. The award for the public safety category this year goes to the Lakeville Police Department.
First of all, I'd like to thank the chambers that are present here for the award. It's a great honor, and hats off. If you can't tell, those of us in the South Metro, our neighbors to the east of Farmington, I think we're doing some things right down here because we're both here. A little bit about our program. In 1998, a tragedy in Columbine, Colorado was the reason the Lakeville Police Department took an interest in active shooter training. Shortly after that, our police department adopted active shooter measures that eliminated the surround and wait that we used to do and replaced it with a seek out and eliminate the threat. Patrol officers, school resource officers, and those working in the police department are the first to be called to deal with danger. No longer do we wait for SWAT teams or other experts, we just go deal with things. Our focus then moved on to students and the families we serve. Lakeville's a growing community, numerous elementary schools, 2 large high schools with students that leave our district and attend up to 5 or 6 high schools, depending on how you look at it. We looked at it this way. We train our kids about tornadoes. We train our kids about what to do during a fire. Neither one of those strike or happen with frequency in schools. So we looked at it from this philosophy that we're just going to train kids on what to do if an active shooter situation would occur at their school. With that philosophy in mind, we worked with our partners, the school district and the fire department, and began active shooter training. We've done this quietly without a lot of fanfare. We've done it in a way that taught children that while this is a terrible thing we might prepare for, it's simply like a tornado or fire. It probably won't happen, but it is something we prepare and train for. Over time, new staff members have taken over and brought new ideas to our program. Ideas such as in 2016 and 2018, we worked with our new partner, the Chamber of Commerce, to host a training session that was attended by over 100 businesses and 350 attendees to explain about active shooters, to take a look at physical structures in the workplace that you can do to simply remain safe in the workplace. So on behalf of our active shooter team that we have present here and our past members as well, and our Chamber of Commerce, our school district, and the Lakeville Police Department, we thank you for this award, and Mayor Anderson would also like to say a word or two.
I'll just be very brief. I think this is a great example of partnerships, as was talked about earlier, with our business community and working with the Finest in terms of Lakeville and our police department. And thanks to Deputy Chief Corman and the rest of the team. And thank you all for the award. Thanks.
Congratulations, and moving on to our last category for the local government Leaders in Local Government Awards is the elected official of note, and she knows she's going to be honored, so there's a little surprise here. It is Woodbury Mayor Mary Giuliani Stevens, and Mary Giuliani Stevens was elected Woodbury's 5th mayor and first female mayor in November of 2010. She has served on the city council since 2007, and Stevens is president of the Woodbury Economic Development Authority and is chair of the Woodbury Housing and Redevelopment Authority. Stevens is a member of the Regional Council of Mayors and served as co-chair from 2015 to 2018. She also serves on the Municipal Legislative Commission and the MLC Legislative Subcommittee. Stevens is a member of the Transportation Advisory Board. She's on the Gateway Corridor Commission, chaired the Policy Advisory Board for Gateway, was a member of the Citizens League Transit Study Commission. She should run for governor or something. This is incredible. Stevens received her BA with distinction in political science, speech, and communications from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. In 1981, she received her Juris Doctorate cum laude from William Mitchell College of Law. Stevens was a partner in the St. Paul law firm of Moore, Costello, and Hart, practicing primarily in the area of commercial construction. She resigned her partnership in 1993 to spend more time with her family, but continued to do part-time arbitration and mediation work until 2007. Stevens has served in several volunteer positions in the local and metropolitan communities. She currently serves on the boards of Woodbury's Chamber of Commerce, Woodbury Community Foundation, and is on the leadership team for Woodbury Thrives. She is a member of the Woodbury Lions Club and the Women Owners of Woodbury. And Stevens and her family worship at Eagle Brook Church on the Woodbury campus. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Mayor and my mayor, Mary Giuliani Stevens.
Well, thank you. And again, congratulations to all the nominees and award winners here today. Thank you to the St. Paul Area Chamber and the Chambers for putting this event on, and of course to all the sponsors. We know how important you are to our local communities, so thank you. It's great for me to be here today among family and friends and colleagues and partners. And I'm particularly blessed because I have some family members with me today. I have my father, Emilio, and I have to say, he's 91, guys. I mean, he just stand up there. And my husband, Greg, and our son, David. So we have a large Italian family that's right here as well. You know, I really am honored, even humbled to be nominated. So, you know, thank you for this very much. You know, as I was thinking about this award, I'm thinking, what allows someone to stand up here and have the opportunity? And I do want to say a few words about each of the things that are listed in there: innovation and success and excellent. But first, I just want to start off by saying most of you know that I ran but did not secure the Republican endorsement for governor. But one of the reasons that I ran, and one of the reasons that motivated me to run when I ran for mayor, was economic development. It's a passion of mine. It will always be a passion of mine. And my goal was to develop relationships and work with businesses so those businesses in our community could stay there and grow there and thrive there. And I really wanted to play a part and continue to want to play a part in creating an economic climate that will retain the businesses we have in our communities and in our state and will attract new businesses. So that will always be a goal of mine. So let's go back. First, when thinking of excellence, the first thing I think of is my dad. He always said, if you're going to do something, do it right or don't do it at all. And he not only said it, but he modeled it. Whether it was raising our family, whether it was his excellent and successful career as a world-renowned cardiologist, or whether it was spending 7 years taking care of my mom full-time with her Alzheimer's, he modeled that. Really, we all strive for excellence because of the example others around us set for us. So thank you, all of you, for the example you have set for me as I will continue to strive to be excellent in all I do. Innovation, really, that's just doing things differently because what we're doing doesn't work, right? And looking for better solutions. And again, I have had so much fun working with the city staff at Woodbury, working with the chamber, working with our local businesses and partners, really to drive innovation within our organizations. One of the things our city administrator, he's here today, Clint, does to develop leaders internally in the city is he selects a book every quarter and the departments head read it and discuss it. Well, the most recent book they're reading is Cigars, Whiskey, and Winning, Leadership Lessons from Ulysses S. Grant. I'm about halfway through. It's a great book. But the first lesson is entitled, Bureaucrats Do the Dumbest Things. And the author speaking of bureaucrats in a broad sense of administration in any organization. And as we know, bureaucrats aren't always thought of as being innovators. So I'm going to quote what the author says Grant wrote about this. And he said, bureaucrats will blindly obey whatever set of rules they are instructed to follow, even if that leads them to take completely illogical or patently nonsensical actions. Try to keep them out of your organizations. Also, help prevent your people from turning into bureaucrats by regularly reminding them that your organization's rules and regulations are designed to provide guidance to intelligent human beings who use their heads, and not intended for slavish obedience to automatons. So I want to thank all of you who have worked with me and let me help drive innovation within our spheres of influence so that we don't become the bureaucrats that Grant was talking about. And finally, success, whether you're in the private sector, you're in the public sector or nonprofit sector, leadership determines what success looks like and how they're going to measure it. So just quickly, in the city of Woodbury, we've identified 6 critical success factors. Those things that we know have to be done right in order for us to be successful and to fulfill our mission as a city, being where citizens, businesses, and government work together to have a community that is welcoming and everyone has an opportunity to thrive. And quickly, our 6 factors, and the city doesn't control all of them, but our 6 factors are safety, quality of life, youth and education, city services, environmental services, and business climate. We recognize that economic vitality is the foundation of community progress and livability. And we will continue to, even long after I'm gone, to strengthen business relationships and promote continued business investment and reinvestment and work hard to attract new businesses to our community. Woodbury Area Chamber of Commerce, thank you. Thank you for allowing the mayor and a member of city staff to serve on your board and to work with you to drive those issues that are important to the businesses in our community. To those of you that represent other organizations, whether you're city, county, private sector, thank you. I've been lucky to have been a part of your organizations. Thank you for letting me play just a little piece in your success. So as I wrap up my 12 years of local elected official service, I am committed to working with the new leadership in the transition months of November and December. So what I want to do is I want to encourage you to reach out to those officials once they're elected in November and to begin developing relationships with them and develop those shared values so you can all continue on the path of excellence, innovation, and success. Thank you for the award. It's going to remind me of you, and it's going to remind me to always be thankful encouraged, and challenged. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Mayor Giuliani Stevens. So this concludes the Leaders in Local Government Awards, and thanks again for coming out, and have a great afternoon.